All right, this has to deal with both Tulsi Gabbard and Cory Booker. Now, why?
I don't think we've ever done a story with both of them.
You mean
together.
Cory Booker?
Wait a minute.
Is it Cory Booker?
We gotta keep those eyes open. Okay, we gotta do one.
He's talking about things, everybody.
Oh,
And
there's
let me
Tulsi
turn off
Gabbard.
one of that, and then we do one of those.
Cory Booker. There
Do
we
we
go.
have one with the eyes?
No.
Well, all of them are eyes. I mean, I suppose.
Yeah.
In some way.
I just can't not look at him weird when he does that. He's,
All right.
he's
So-
so goofy looking.
So here's why I'm going to be talking about at least Cory Booker and Tulsi Gabbard in the same story. Now, we all know that on December 19th, Hardlens Media, we will be covering the 6th Democratic presidential debate. Now, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I want to make a very clear correction too. All of the presidential candidates, as it stands right now, have agreed not to cross the picket line until there's some sort of resolution solved between the strikers and the DNC and the facility that's hosting that event. So we'll see how that all turns out. Kudos to all the candidates, and thank you for everyone on our YouTube channel for
Say
letting
very
us know that.
quickly
Yeah, go ahead.
that I know what Biden's team was thinking when this happened. They're like, oh my God, we dodged a bit. Oh my God.
Yes.
Get Biden some ice cream.
Yes, exactly. Well, no.
Just not with children. Don't do it with
No,
small children.
no children.
Don't do it on camera.
So as we
not
all
with
know,
the hairy legs.
So as we all know, Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang, and Tom Sayer have all made it to the debate stage. They met the qualifications. Tulsi Gabbard is protesting against the DNC due to the fact that it's unfair with its polling and how people can qualify to be on the debate stage. But now, Cory Booker, of all people, including Julian Castro, are basically saying the same thing too, that the DNC should change its rules. But the Democratic National Committee has rejected demands from the party's presidential candidates to change its debate requirements in order for Cory Booker and Julian Castro to join the stage in January, because there will be another debate. I won't be able to see that with you guys, but there'll be another debate in January, and it looks like that those two will not meet the qualifications. It's interesting enough to say that, in this article, there's a lot of talk about how there's a lack of diversity, there's no acknowledgement of people of color, but yet the article doesn't mention that Tulsi Gabbard, a woman of color, the only woman of color who's left in the race so far, she has been calling this out way before the first Democratic
What about Elizabeth
debate.
Warren?
Warren doesn't count. She's white. Okay? She's Caucasian.
Okay.
She's not Native American. So there's no debate about it. I don't want to hear anything like, oh, Warren. No. The DNA test came back. She was a liar. Oh, wait. The lie detector came past, and it proved that she wasn't Native American. Oh, wait.
Wait. What if we just say this? That the lie detector came back and said she was telling the truth.
No. That fell flat.
Yeah. Okay. That was.
That
Sorry,
fell flat.
guys.
So why am I mentioning Tulsi Gabbard? Well, on August 28th, 2019, Tulsi Gabbard went on Tucker Carlson's show. Oh my God, Fox News. It's the end of the world. A Democrat went on Fox News. Oh my goodness. Well, Tulsi Gabbard was calling out how the Democratic debate process, the DNC debate process, lacks transparency and lack of trust. And yet, if you compare all the articles from that summer, in August, in regards when Tulsi Gabbard was calling out how the DNC is basically lacking transparency, there were numerous articles attacking Tulsi Gabbard, saying that she's whining, that she doesn't know the rules and regulations, that she is someone who's just a disruptor, that she doesn't understand that this is how things are. And now when one of the establishment's favorites, like Cory Booker, for example, and maybe to a lesser extent Julian Castro mentioned the same thing too, they're given a little bit more praise, especially by people on Twitter, people who are not really paying too close attention to just how messed up the DNC is. And I just want to mention just a couple of things that Tulsi Gabbard has said about the DNC. There's a whole bunch of different polls that have come out. The DNC has only recognized some of them as being qualifying polls for the debate. And she said this on August on Tucker Carlson's show. She also said this: the people deserve having the transparency, because ultimately it's the people who will decide who our Democratic nominee will be, and ultimately who our next president, commander-in-chief will be. And when you see the lack of transparency it creates, a lack of faith and trust in the process. And I think this also points to a bigger issue, and the challenge that goes beyond the DNC and party politics is the government itself. Yes, there are people who are increasingly losing faith and trust in the government because they see a lack of transparency there. They see that we don't have a government that is of, by, and for the people. And really, what they see is a small group of really powerful political elites, the establishment, making decisions that serve their interests and maintaining that power, while the rest of us are left outside. The American people are left behind. And Tulsi Gabbard has been bringing this up even before any of the other debates got started, and it's quite clear that the DNC is still playing its same kind of game. Now remember, look, Bloomberg just gave $10 million to the DNC, and Nancy Pelosi was giving him nothing but applause for that. This shows you how hypocritical the establishment is, how hypocritical a lot of talking pundits are, because when Cory Booker brings this up, now, of course, the DNC is not changing its rules, but now there's a lot of pundits saying that, oh, gee, Cory Booker's making a lot of great points about this, that the DNC is lacking transparency. Tulsi Gabbard brought this up before anyone else did. And yet the media is trying to make this seem like this is one big revelation. Never forget, in 2016, the DNC establishment and Clinton campaign worked together to deny Bernie Sanders the nomination in 2016, and corporate media willingly turned a blind eye to it and actually helped out post out a lot of smear articles against Bernie Sanders, and they're doing the exact same thing right now. So when I see this article, especially where Cory Booker or Julian Castro are saying, oh, well, no, the DNC is lacking transparency, join the club, but get behind because Tulsi Gabbard was bringing it up first. Paul, Daniel.
Oh, I thought we were going to you first. I think Cory Booker, ultimately, yes, you're right. Anytime he's going to bring up something that Tulsi Gabbard or anyone that is a progressive brings up, it's going to be given deference, right? But he's allowed to sort of be measured in those things. He can totally agree with the position and attack someone for taking that position. But as soon as he takes it, it's going to be validated because by sheer nature of the fact that he's sort of one of the golden boys, right? He's in the club, and it's fine.
Originally deemed as a front runner too,
right? And anytime that he says that, it's viewed as, you know, him just kind of looking out for his own political chances. But because he's someone who's acceptable, that can not only be a message that doesn't have to be sidelined or silenced or smeared. It can actually be championed and bolstered, even if it's the same message that someone else had earlier.
Yeah, this is something that, you know, I've talked about every now and then, but I feel it's good to bring up now, and that's a wonderful video on YouTube called The Rules for Rulers. I consider it the most important video on YouTube. I wish one of our videos one day would eclipse that, but right now I think that that's a video everyone should see because
he makes some really good content.
CGP Grey is wonderful, but if in that specific video, most people don't understand why these kind of choices get made, why this deference gets made, and we kind of, you know, internally, everyone sees that it's wrong. Everyone sees that it's favoritism. Everyone sees that Cory Booker, who really is doing worse than just about anyone, is still treated. Why is he treated like a contender? What makes him different? What makes that happen? If you understand how key structure works, if you understand how ruling in a democracy works, if you understand how perpetuation of power works and special keys works, you'll understand that the Democratic Party is a multi-key system that really enjoys and feels it's necessary to reach out to specialty singular keys, like, you know, lobby groups as an example. And they don't want people who are candidates who won't reach out to those people because that's their bread and butter. Their bread and butter is, we need to get people in and maintain a stock of people who will take money from these people because they're terrified that if they don't take that money, someone else will. And they've completely lost the idea of the real way that you can govern in this modern era with people power that you have at the tips of your fingers with the internet, like Sanders is doing, like Tulsi's doing, like Yang is doing, where they're really reaching out and saying that our key supports are going to come from the masses. And once you understand how these things, you can really effectively fight back against it. That's what we try and do on this show. We try and explain to you guys what we see from our point of view, how we see these pieces put together, and how you could beat them. Because all of this stuff we're talking about was built over about a 40, 50-year period, and we can tear it down and replace it the second that we win, and the way we win is by winning.
Yep. And I think final note, too, about this entire coverage of this Democratic debate, the primary process, it's definitely hypocritical to its core, and we see really just how inept and corrupt the DNC is, how inept the media is in regards to when a candidate like Tulsi Gabbard brings up the fact that there is a lack of transparency, how it's laughed and mocked. But when someone like Cory Booker, who has very close ties to the establishment, mentions it, then it's given praise. And I think going forward, we have to remember, we have to tell the difference between who is really being authentic about calling up concerns about the DNC. Tulsi Gabbard was there. She was vice chair with the DNC in 2016 and stepped down because she saw what the DNC was doing. I don't see any other elected official be they Republican or Democrat, whether in the United States Senate or House, doing the exact same thing Tulsi Gabbard did. That took a lot of courage to call out the corruption, and she saw that there was a clear lack of transparency, a clear lack of accountability from the DNC in 2016. It's the same as it was then. It's the same it is now. And I'm not feeling any sympathy for Cory Booker or Julian Castro when they bring up there's a lack of transparency. So now we do have to move on to another story. Shout out to Duck Moore. Biden, November 22nd, 2019, at his own town hall in South Carolina. You should vote for Trump. How is someone who doesn't want to win still running? It's called super PACs, my friend. That's the only reason why Biden's still relevant. The answer is super PACs, super PACs, super PACs.
Keys
Corporate money.
Corporate money. So there you go. There's your answer. Corporate money, my friend.